Hey folks, Canal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Don't want to take a second to talk about some of these plays in the oil stocks we did. You can see even with the market getting decimated today, the market's down like I believe 300 points, 2% across the board. At one point, we were down way more than that. And so, one of the things that's been happening is, when the market cracked below the support, you saw really a lot of flushes into the market, and we longed a bunch of these oil stocks like LEI, OAS, WLL, right off the bat at the open, based on a relative strength of the market was flushing, and you started to see some of these bottoming type of patterns in these oil stocks over here, where you got a higher low in WLL, and you got higher low over here in OAS. And then you had this huge run in LEI the previous day where it went from $1.75 to 11. And so, based on those moves and the overall big picture, what we were looking at is, potentially longing these things at the open for a counter trend type of thing. And so, you can see what kind of happened here is when you get a trade like, and they all had the same exact pattern. So I took all three of them, and they all had the same pattern. And so, like a WLL, you can see how it opened up really weak here. It got down to 925 because that's where the market flushed. The market was flushing at the open, and then boom, as soon as this thing went green, so it's down for the day and it goes green for the day, I'm longing this thing. I longed, I believe, 6,000 shares of this thing, and we're just playing the spike. The open is about price volatility and price discovery. And so that's where you're going to get really the big, huge spikes in the stocks. And then they'll kind of shake out, and then you can re-hit them later as they bottom out. And so it was the same type of deal with OAS, whereas it opened up really weak and then immediately shot up in reverse. And so we're longing this thing right here. I longed it right at 740, and we're playing these opening spikes, as that's the type of action that you get, at the open. Middle of the day, you get more retracements and pullbacks. The open is about that price discovery, and then end of the day, price tends to make a move. And you can still see there's a lot of relative strength in some of these oil names today, from really the rest of the market. And so that's something we'll have to keep an eye on for the rest of the week too. And the setup in LEI was the exact same. See how it opened up weak, and then it filled this gap. And so once it started to fill this gap, I took this thing long, and then I added more actually once it went green, which was at 715. So I originally got 668, a couple thousand shares. I added some more up here, and then it's just playing into the spike, and then you can see later on it shakes out. But that's what we want to do at the open. You don't marry these things. You come in and you take your $1, $2 rip on it, and then you walk away. In the middle of the day, you'll get the retracement. End of the day, you'll start to get your next move if there's one in the cards. And so just a really simple setup. But that's how I like to trade these things. And, for the most part, I was done, in the first 30 minutes of the day today, in terms of these, these big oil, these big oil pushes. You can see this is basically, I must have maybe traded the first hour or so. And then after that, it was just, everything kind of just farted around. But that's, and that can often happen in big gap days. And so when you get a big gap day, sometimes the gap is so big, you don't necessarily get a lot of follow through. You just kind of fart around all day. And that's what happened with a lot of stocks. But at the open, you'll typically get those big pushes. And so that's where you want to really do. And that's how I like to trade too. It's like, why sit around for 6-7 hours? If you can get your money at the open, and then you can come back later in the day when the stocks in the market will tend to make its next move, and then you can play that type of thing. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. We have a boot camp starting January 19th. I talk about these plays extensively on how to trade the open, all the different patterns and the setups. The cool thing about our boot camp, guys, is that I'm on screen share and video all day in front of my students. So they literally get to watch me trade live, and they watch me on screen share, and I'm sitting here and I'm, buying and selling and doing my thing. And That's one of the best ways to learn, right? Is to actually see somebody go out and do it. And that way you can learn visually in real time rather than just reading a book where things are very static and it's like you think you get it and then you see it move in real time and it just feels different and acts different. And I believe that this is the best way to go about and really, really start picking up good habits and ingrain this material into your brain is by actually seeing it live. So, folks, email me if you have any questions. It's Kunal, Kunal, at BULLSON, WALL Street.com. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Take care.